It has been a wonderful journey. I have no complaints. I got job into somehow as a clerk in Great Eastern Shipping Company, 1990. That one project is a history in my life. So I told him I'm going to die in any case. So let me go to the platforms. And we were sitting there and all that, and he shouted that from this onwards he is the project manager. So next day I took the helicopter. I went on to the sea, Bombay High, and I am not a technical man.
Without technical knowledge, how did you think you will go and you will complete it?
Look at Modi ji. He's not a technical man, but he's digitizing whole India. The first day I went and sat in the crew mess where all the workers were eating. So two workers were sitting next to me, this side and that side. So I asked, कैसा लग रहा है? So one of them said, Sir, हम लोग पंजाबी लोग हैं, हमको चावल खिलाते हो. After lunch, I think I came on the board and I called up my office on the radio. Please, from tomorrow, these people should get roti. I'm emotional remembering those days. When the project was completed, somehow company felt and my boss felt that I deserve that and I was made president. अगर आप स्कूल खोल लेंगे, आप हॉस्पिटल खोल लेंगे तो कितने लोगों की सेवा कर पाएंगे जिंदगी भर. पर पॉलिसी रिफॉर्म में अगर एक पॉलिसी में आप बदलाव करेंगे तो मिलियंस की लाइफ को बदलाव हो सकता है. As far as the economic growth is concerned, is given that India is a shining story. What next 5 years we may need to do is, which will further accelerate and give big boost to economy, is agriculture reform, the farm sector reforms, land acquisition, notification on the labor law.
हम लोग देखते हैं बजट के दिन मार्केट्स बहुत फ्लक्चुएट कर जाते हैं. इलेक्शन से बहुत वॉलेटिलिटी रहती है.
So let's get everybody clear in their head that politics is the way of life.
So welcome to yet another episode of The Bulls, Bears and the Breakthrough. And today I'm very excited because today we are sitting with a person who has inspired me, who has been a mentor to me, who has been a father figure. His journey from being a clerk to being the president of the massive 650 crores Great Eastern Shipping Company was truly inspiring. और उसके बाद की उनकी जर्नी और भी ज़्यादा इंस्पायरिंग रही है because he has been into social activism and of course policy reforms, and we'll know more about him from himself. And so I welcome my mama, Surendra Srivastava. Hi, Mama.
Thank you, Ankita. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to talk to you.
Opportunity to talk to me.
Why not? On an official platform, yes.
On an official platform. No, we have interacted on official platforms quite a few times. But yes, हम लोग आपसे जानना चाह रहे थे आपकी जर्नी कैसी रही है. मैं तो of course बचपन से सुनती आई हूँ, मैंने देखा है काफ़ी कुछ, but आपसे जर्नी आपकी जानना चाहेंगे.
नहीं, it has been a wonderful journey. I have no complaints against anything. I am very very fortunate. बहुत ही लकी रहा हूँ मैं, क्योंकि मेरा जिस तरह का बैकग्राउंड है उस तरह से मैं जहाँ पर हूँ वहाँ पर नहीं पहुँच सकता था. तो कुछ फोर्सेस ने मेरे साथ सपोर्ट किया है एंड दोज फोर्सेस आर अनसीन. आई विश दैट एवरीबडी गेट्स दैट सपोर्ट. आई स्टडीड इन म्यूनिसिपल स्कूल.
शुरुआत हम लोग नानू के इससे.
यस, आई एम ए सन ऑफ ए आर्मी सोल्जर. I started my education in the municipal school. By the time I was in completing my metric, which at that time was 11th class.
11th standard, yes.
11th standard. I had to work to support my family because
नानू रिटायर हो गए थे
and there was a family, big family and all that. So you can say that I started working at the age of 15, and since then I've been to all kinds of odd jobs, which has really given me a good exposure to how the world is and all the kind of tough times I've gone through. But I must say that in 1987 when I got married, I think that turned my life ups and down kind of situation. क्योंकि जिनसे मेरी शादी हुई वो मेरे लिए सरस्वती निकली, एंड शी ब्रॉट लॉट ऑफ विजडम टू माई लाइफ. एंड देन इन 1990 व्हेन माई डॉटर वाज बोर्न, टिल दैट टाइम आई वाज स्ट्रगलिंग इन माई लाइफ, बट आफ्टर हर बर्थ, दैट्स व्हाई आई कॉल हर लक्ष्मी, आई गॉट जॉब इनटू समहाउ एज ए क्लर्क इन ग्रेट ईस्टर्न शिपिंग कंपनी.
That was in 1990?
1990. Before that, I did all kinds of odd jobs. I tried to start my own business also towards the fag end, say 88, 89, but failed miserably. But thereafter, there was no looking back. And I became president in that company in the year in 1997. So in 7 years,
That journey
has been very, very amazing.
So we would like to know more about that journey and क्या इस तरीके के examples रहे हों या कोई incidences रहे हों which propelled you towards achieving that success.
As I said, I was fortunate. So when I joined Great Eastern Shipping, there were three divisions. One was offshore division, which was very small. There was a tanker division, which was quite decent size. And there was a bulk carrier division, which was quite a big size. And it so happened that India was completely controlled in the offshore sector. And there were all foreign companies working in India. Only small support services were provided by Great Eastern Shipping in terms of tugboats and offshore supply vessels and all that. But as luck would have, that division really took off. And since it was a very small division, although I was a clerk, but I was doing multiple jobs, all kinds of jobs. And my boss was once looking at me, my hard work and all that. He kept on adding my workload. Without realizing that I am learning on the job. So other people actually, who were my competitors in the staff, they were happy that this man is overloaded without realizing that I was learning the job and I was moving faster than them. So somehow I got lapped into the business development part. And thereafter I think it's a luck that wherever I went to take my flag of my company to develop a new business, it turned out to be always positive, always good.
Luck एक component होता है, but उसके लिए मतलब वो luck मिलने के लिए भी कुछ traits लगते हैं. That's what I believe, and that's what you have taught me.
Luck मिलने के नहीं, there are three parts to the life. 95 or 99% of the part is about hard work, sincerity, honesty. But without that 1% or 2% or 5% of luck, those hard work and sincerity doesn't pay off. Look at my classmates, for example. I think in that era, when country was also poor, people were also poor. In that era, I think everybody worked very hard. But I shined in that era. So that is a luck part. That's why I give a lot of credit to luck part. But I must say that luck will not favor those who are not hard worker, who are not sincere, and who are not honest. Honesty does not mean only financial honesty. Honesty is a larger component of intellectual honesty also. So intellectually and financially both you have to be honest. Then only luck plays a role. That has played a role in my life. And in my rise, some of the projects which came through me in the company, I ended up completing them myself because somewhere operations department failed. And since my face I was the face of the company as far as the client were concerned. I was the drum to be beaten by them, So I faced the music. That told me that let me try and take care of this project, and company allowed me to do that. I must appreciate my boss, who was managing director of the company, that he allowed me to also enter into operation area, telling the operation people that he is the boss for this project and you will operate under him. And when I entered the operation area, miracles happened. I will give you one example. I think it was 96 or 97, we won a contract from ONGC for doing clamp-on jobs, which means the existing wells, nearby additional wells to be drilled. For that, the extra platform has to be created on the rigs and all that. and through which you have to drill and put, and those pipes have to be attached to the old ones in a manner in which that you can drill from inside. So such 12 projects were given to us, 12 sites were given to us, and the project was to be completed before the monsoon, because once the monsoon starts, then you can't operate in the off-season. Before that, the rigs who are going to drill the well inside those pipes, they have to be located. Once the monsoon starts in the high seas, none of these rigs can come close to the platform, because then they will bang.
Right.
So before the monsoon starts, when the sea is little calm, you come and station there and then start operating. So during the monsoon, you can stand there and keep operating. That one project is a history in my life, because I will never forget that. It was miserably delayed. It was delayed by 1.5 months. We started somewhere in January of that year, so 96 or 97 January. And we were to finish on the 7th of May, because that was the monsoon, from where the monsoon to start. Because from 7th to 15th May is a period when the rigs will come and locate. And after 15th, the monsoon will start. Project was delayed by 1.5 months. ONGC, including ONGC chairman at that time, called me and fired me left, right, center. That for getting the job, you come with all kinds of sweet tongues. And here is the project. If this project is not completed on time, 12 rigs will be standby doing nothing during the monsoon, and we will be paying it.
And what would have been the cost for that?
You can say about $100,000 per rig per day.
That was in 1996, 97.
Around that. Or maybe little $80,000. I forgot the now figures and all that. But it was in that range. And there were liquidated damages also, because if we are not completing, then there is a liquidated damage on this project.
Which would finally affect the entire profitability.
Not only a profitability, this will close down the division, and this will throw me out also.
So it was an adversity. It was kind of
absolutely adversity. And then somehow I was because of this tension, and people were firing me left, right, center. My client was firing left, right, center, and all that. My blood pressure was high. I was sick. But one day suddenly something came in my mind, and I went to talk to my boss that, boss, I'm dead. He himself was परेशान, वो तो खुद परेशान थे. तो उन्होंने मुझे देखा, क्या कर सकते हैं आप? He was the owner, he was shareholder and he was the owner, so nothing will happen to him, but I will be without the job. So I told him, I'm going to die in any case. So let me go to the platforms where the operation is happening in Mumbai high seas, and let me try. So something went in his head, and he called up the meeting of all the operation department in the evening, and we were sitting there and all that, and he shouted that from this onwards he is the project manager.
उस टाइम पे आपका डेजिग्नेशन क्या था?
I was vice president business development. And so he told that, and operations were looking at how this can happen and all that, but they didn't have a choice because the project was in a very miserable condition. So they agreed, they accepted, there was no choice for them and all that. So next day I took the helicopter from this Juhu helipad. I went on to the sea. Bombay High. And I landed on the platform, and I am not a technical man.
That's what I was coming to.
So I am not an engineer also. So, but the boss somehow had a faith in me because I was bringing a lot of business.
No, that was his faith. Just breaking you यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा. Without technical knowledge, without having that qualification, I would say, how did you think you will go and you will complete it?
In life, one thing I learned very, very clearly, that look at Modi ji. He's not a technical man, but he's digitizing whole India. So you will get technical people. You can hire technical people, you can sack technical people and all that, but leadership is required. So if the leader is right, the same technicians will find solutions for you. And exactly that happened in my case also. When I went there, I saw 400 workers quarreling with each other. So first day I went and sat in the crew mess where all the workers were eating. So suddenly everybody started jumping. The vice president has gone into that mess, not officers' mess and all that. So I wanted to know exactly what is happening here. I sat there. So two workers were sitting next to me, this side and that side. So I asked, कैसा लग रहा है? So one of them said, sir, हम लोग पंजाबी लोग हैं, हमको चावल खिलाते हैं रोज. So that clicked me. I came back on the bridge. Bridge is a place where all the radio equipments and everything is there, and where from you come, it's a command center of the project. So after dinner, after lunch, I think I came on the bridge and I called up my office. From there, on the radio. Please, from tomorrow, these people should get roti. Ensure that. So, I'm emotional remembering those days. So, the office immediately flew 10 crooks next day. I think the ship also, one supply boat came with atta and all that. The word went around.
कि अगर प्रॉब्लम बताएं तो यहाँ पे सोल्यूशन मिल रहा है. हाँ.
रोटी खा के खुश. तो suddenly they realized that अरे possible है. Second thing I noticed, on the bars the project manager was a British person, very arrogant guy, not mixing with people. And I understood that there were various departments, the diving department, the saturation diving department, the deck department, who were working on top. Diving means under the sea, up to 50 meter water depth, 80 meter water depth, we had to put the pipe. So I don't understand, but everybody was expert in their own. I was just trying to meet people and talk to and all that. And within next day, I came to know that this project manager is very good, and whatever, everybody is negative about him. So I said, what do we do? Because he's a project manager. But anyway, I said, I forgot his name. I took his first name and said, I think let us go out and let us have a meeting. We will meet there and find out some solution. So I told him, I told my office to arrange a helicopter. And we took next day afternoon, we took the helicopter back, helipad. So we landed in Jew helipad, and there my office people were already there. I told them to come there. And as soon as we landed, his name was John. So as soon as the man we landed, I told John, I'm very sorry, you are sacked. You are not going back. And I handed him, he was arguing and all that. I told my office people, take him to the office and dispatch him to Singapore. ये सामान मैं उनको वहाँ से भिजवाता हूँ. सामान अगर भिजवा दूँगा मैं सप्लाई बोर्ड से इनको जाने दूँ. Because I knew that if I would have done this on the ship, there could have been big requests. I left him there, I took the return chopper and went back. And I declared that man is sacked. So suddenly I saw jubilation, everybody is laughing and वो कुछ हो रहा है.
पार्टी हो रही है शिप पे.
नहीं कुछ हो रहा है. And then I called up the meeting. I said, listen, they were particularly divers were foreigners. So they were not getting along with Indians. But the moment they saw me in action, they suddenly got aligned with me. And all the head of the departments and head of the groups started getting aligned with me because small things I tried to sort it out. So I was not providing technical solutions, but I was encouraging them to come out with the technical innovations. Okay, how do we speed up and how do we catch up the lost time? And these are the same people who came out with some wonderful, innovative solutions. And by that time, within 10 days, I found none of them wanted to leave their shift because everybody was working 8 hours. The person who was working, he wanted to work for 12 hours. He said, "नहीं, मैं ये काम खत्म करके जाऊँगा." New people have come to speed the work, and suddenly people started realizing. And I said that हमारी इज्जत का सवाल है. So everybody started, भाई इज्जत का सवाल है. And they suddenly realized that this can be done. And I think we had planned every platform we will do in say, there were 12 platforms where three additional pipes were to be laid. So 3 additional new wells will be created on the same platform. The production will increase. We had planned first platform for about 15 days and going up to 12 days in the last platform. But the last platform we did in 2 days.
Because of the experience that you
speed up the innovation
and everybody
everybody started working together. Divers went down. It was I can't explain now. It's a story can be written there. In such a short time it can't be, but each and everybody started contributing like anything. The logistic people were wonderful because the space there, available space for bringing the material was limited. So how to manage each ship to come, what to bring first, what not to bring first, what can be later on, and all that. Everything was managed in such a manner that nothing stopped. If pipe had to come first, then pipe came first. It's not that something else came first. So the logistic people planned properly. Of course, I used to monitor. Every day I will go to the bridge. Then there was a problem with ONGC also because ONGC staff was also arrogant type. Now I don't know how they are, but in my time they were very, very arrogant people. So that's how the project was completed. The end of the project was end of this project was very beautiful scene. By that time I had taken a vow कि मैं जब तक ये प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट नहीं होगा तो दाढ़ी नहीं बनाऊंगा. So मेरी दाढ़ी काफ़ी बड़ी हो गई थी इतनी. So when I landed, when the project was completed, so everybody was coming by boat, and our barge was also coming. But barge will take time, so lot of people started coming by boat. I was to come by chopper, but I said no, I will go with them. So I came, and I was shocked. My office staff and my colleagues were waiting at the port, and they took me on the shoulder, sat in the car, took me to Taj Mahal Hotel, and first time in my life, Taj Mahal Hotel में मेरी दाढ़ी बनवाई गई. And I want to introduce here one of the person who was part of this project.
Been there since.
Part of this project and has been there. And he also left the job with me and he said that जिस तरह की आपने leadership दिखाई है उस तरह से मैं आपके साथ ही रहना चाहता हूँ. यशवंत, please. ये यशवंत है. And यशवंत मेरे साथ तब से है. जब से और इसने अपनी आंखों से देखा है सारे प्रोजेक्ट को करते हुए.
चलिए, थैंक यू यशवंत दादा. तो आफ्टर दिस what was the reaction and everything in the company?
Well, I think that had proved my ability not only for business development but for operations leadership. By that time there was no president in the company. The last
VP of every department, yes.
Somehow company felt and my boss felt that I deserved that and I was made president, giving all the authorities. And that has been my journey as far as the professional life is concerned. And then by the time 2005 came, 2001, 2002, 2003 happened, my life had already changed by then because I was financially more or less independent. I was looking for further growth. What should I do? And that is where when I decided to quit and start doing some kind of social work.
So we'll go to this part of the journey because I think I have also been a proper spectator during this part of the journey. But again, just going back thoda sa, जब आपने Great Eastern join किया था, at that point of time it wasn't a listed company, right?
No, it was a listed company.
When you had joined Great Eastern. Okay, great. So that is one part of it. So this is where we crossover from the shipping industry. Actually, not completely. After that, you even held positions with Jay Baxi Group.
That was more of an advisory kind of job because I had time on my hands. So I did a lot of advisory work.
and uske baad you shifted. Matlab, what made you leave the high-profile corporate job? Of course, it comes with its own perks, and get into policy reforms. I believe Mami had some role to play in it because, as you mentioned, she's the Saraswati in your life.
True. It so happened that the kind of life I was living, I have not seen my daughter growing up. I used to work some 16, 17, 18 hours a day. I used to travel quite a lot. I have traveled to USA at least 6 or 7 times without sleeping on the bed. So I went, take an example, I went from here to US, attended the meeting and came back without staying in the hotel. That is the kind of lifestyle I was having. So I had developed diabetes, I had high blood pressure issues. So my wife told me, rather my Saraswati told me that this way you will not last long. So either slow down or find different vocation. Now in my nature and character, slowing down is not an option, because whatever I do with full intensity, with honesty, full hard work. That is how we together decided that we are financially okay. We calculated that by the time I became 80 years and all that, till that time we can live comfortably. Not of the same style. From first class or business class, I will have to travel in economy class. But it was a choice which we had made. So in the social work, where do we start? That was a big question. And that time, policy reforms and all that, I had no clue about it. I had understanding because I was dealing with the government and all that. But I did not have, we can do something about it. So initially, we decided that, okay, start some education institution or say hospital kind of medical facility kind of thing and all that. So we chose my mother's town. It is Bhind district in Madhya Pradesh. Bhind district. My mother belongs to Bhind district, in one of the villages in Bhind district. So by that time I had contacts in the government. So I knew a lot of secretaries, a lot of people in the government because I was in the high profile corporate job. So through them I got contacted in district collector and the district police chief of the Bhind, and I went there and stayed in the government guest house. My wife was also with me, and we discussed with them openly, this is what we want to do. So the collector at that time said, collector or sub-collector, somebody like that, told me that आप ना करें तो अच्छा है. So I was shocked. I said, मैं अच्छा काम करना चाहता हूँ, यहाँ पे आपको आपकी क्षेत्र में आपको भी वाहवाही मिलेगी. बोले कि सर नहीं, ये इलाका ऐसा है, ये डाकुओं से भरा हुआ है. और मध्य प्रदेश का उस समय जो होम मिनिस्टर था वो भी उसी तरह के व्यक्ति थे. तो उन्होंने कहा कि आप जिस दिन नींव डालेंगे, एक ईंट भी डालेंगे, या तो आप किडनैप हो जाएंगे या आप घेर लिए जाएंगे, बोलेंगे पैसा दो. और हर दिन जब तक आप, मैंने बोला अच्छा काम करेंगे तो भी, बोले कि सर उनको पैसे से मतलब है, आप किडनैप हो जाएंगे फिरौती मांगेंगे. बोलो
आपने प्रपोजल क्या रखा था? कि
मैं ज़मीन लेना चाहता हूँ और स्कूल खोलना चाहता हूँ, तो आप मुझे मदद कीजिए, कहाँ मैं ज़मीन लूँ, कैसी लूँ एंड ऑल दैट. So that shocked me actually. That was the first shock of my life. जहाँ पे अच्छा काम करने के लिए भी आपको सोचना पड़ेगा 10 बार. So I came back. In the meantime, it so happened that I met Dr. Jay Prakash Narayan of Foundation for Democratic Reforms and Lok Sabha movement. And he made me understand one thing very clearly which attracted me quite a lot towards the policy reforms. He says, सुरेन, अगर आप स्कूल खोल लेंगे, आप हॉस्पिटल खोल लेंगे, तो कितने लोगों की सेवा कर पाएंगे आप जिंदगी भर?
हैंडफुल.
1 लाख, 2 लाख, 5 लाख. पर पॉलिसी रिफॉर्म में अगर एक पॉलिसी में आप बदलाव करेंगे तो मिलियंस की लाइफ को बदलाव हो सकता है. शायद उसमें क्रेडिट नहीं मिलेगा, लोग पहचानेंगे नहीं आपको, लोग जानेंगे नहीं,
बट यू वुड हैव इम्पैक्टेड
बट आपने लाखों करोड़ों लोगों की जिंदगी में इम्पैक्ट कर दिया हो. दैट रियली वाज आई ओपनर फॉर मी. एंड आई वाज नेवर, बिकॉज मेरा बैकग्राउंड संघ से, आरएसएस से है, और आरएसएस ने कभी भी हमको ये नहीं सिखाया कि रिकग्निशन के लिए काम करो. आरएसएस ने हमको यही सिखाया कि अकम्पलिशमेंट के लिए काम करो आप. तो वो तो अंदर से था ही अकम्पलिशमेंट का. बस वहाँ से जर्नी शुरू हो गई. डॉक्टर जयप्रकाश नारायण के साथ जुड़ गए हम.
So this was in the year 2000?
2003, 2004, and 2005 March I left the job and came into
full time into this. Great. So ड्यूरिंग दिस जर्नी ऑफ पॉलिसी रिफॉर्म्स 2003 से तो मैं देखते आ रही हूँ, बहुत सारी चीज़ें आई, आरटीआई आया, उसके बाद सेकंड एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव रिफॉर्म्स कमीशन में डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन वगैरह के ऊपर स्ट्रेस आया, उसके बाद 2011 में लोकपाल वगैरह का एक ये आया। तो ये जर्नी आपकी किस तरीके से रही है?
एक्चुअली शुरुआत की जर्नी ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है क्योंकि उसी समय मैं उनके टच में आया था और उनके साथ में पार्ट टाइम बेसिस पे काम कर रहा था। आई वॉज कंटिन्यूइंग टू बी प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ ग्रेट ईस्ट शिपिंग।
यस।
2001 में ये लोकसत्ता और दूसरे एसोसिएट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के साथ में मिलकर एक पीआईएल फाइल हुई थी सुप्रीम कोर्ट में, जिसका इम्पैक्ट बहुत बड़ा निकला आगे चल के। उसका ऑर्डर ये हुआ था कि वो थी अगेंस्ट क्रिमिनलाइजेशन ऑफ पॉलिटिक्स। बेसिक क्वेश्चन कोर्ट के सामने ये था कि सर एज ए वोटर डू आई हैव ए राइट टू नो अबाउट माई कैंडिडेट, एवरीथिंग अबाउट माई कैंडिडेट, क्योंकि तब तक पता ही नहीं चलता था कि कौन कैंडिडेट का क्या
कैसा बैकग्राउंड है और क्या ये है।
और उस पीआईएल में सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ऑर्डर दिया था कि अगले इलेक्शन से हर कैंडिडेट को अपने एफिडेविट फाइल करने पड़ेंगे जिसमें कि अपना क्रिमिनल रिकॉर्ड्स और अपना वेल्थ का सारा आपको इलेक्शन कमीशन को देना होगा। उसका इम्पैक्ट शायद उस समय पता नहीं चला लोगों को, लेकिन अब उसके कारण क्या हुआ, जैसे जैसे इन्फॉर्मेशन पब्लिक में आने लगी, पब्लिक उतना ज़्यादा एजिटेट होने लगी और आज ऐसी सिचुएशन आ गई है कि पोल खुल जाती है। और अब धीरे धीरे ऐसा भी हो गया कि इतने सालों बाद देखिए कि कई पॉलिटिशियन जेल में जा रहे हैं। किसने सोचा था लालू प्रसाद जी को चारा घुलराने में जेल भी हो सकती है। तो ये वहाँ से जर्नी शुरू हुई है। 2005 में जब नई गवर्नमेंट आई, मनमोहन सिंह जी प्राइम मिनिस्टर बने, तो उन्होंने एक नेशनल एडवाइजरी काउंसिल फॉर्म किया था।
करेक्ट।
सोनिया गांधी जी के अध्यक्षता में। तो उसके मेंबर डॉक्टर जयप्रकाश नारायण बने थे। मैं उनके साथ में काम करता था, तो वर्किंग में लगा था। और वहाँ से फिर राइट टू इन्फॉर्मेशन निकला, फिर वहाँ से ये राइट टू एजुकेशन भी निकला है, फिर वहाँ से एक सर्विस डिलीवरी बिल जो लोकसभा में इंट्रोड्यूस हुआ था वो डिबेट नहीं हो सका, बिकॉज बाय द टाइम इट केम कि टाइम आएगा तब तक गवर्नमेंट चेंज हो गई थी। गवर्नमेंट उसमें आ गई थी, बिकॉज ऑफ न्यूक्लियर डील प्रेशर भी बिल्डअप हो गया था। तो इस तरह से काफ़ी उसके बाद में जब सेकंड एडमिशन रिफॉर्म कमीशन बनी, उसके भी मेंबर डॉक्टर जयप्रकाश नारायण थे। उनके साथ में मैं भी काम कर रहा था। डॉक्टर वहाँ पे कुछ 15 से 17 रिपोर्ट लिखी गई हैं, जिससे एनडीआरएफ बना, नेशनल डिजास्टर रिलीफ, सिविल सर्विसेज रिफॉर्म पे रिपोर्ट है, पुलिस रिफॉर्म पर रिपोर्ट है, जुडिशियल रिफॉर्म पर रिपोर्ट है। तो उस तरह से फिर वो प्रोग्रेशन होता रहा। फिर NJAC एक्ट, नेशनल जुडिशियल अकाउंटेबिलिटी बिल, ये भी डॉक्टर जयप्रकाश नारायण के थ्रू पुश हुआ
था। हाँ।
और इसमें जस्टिस वेंकटाचलैया, लेट जस्टिस कृष्णा अय्यर, लेट जस्टिस JS वर्मा, इनका सपोर्ट मिला हमको, उनका व्यूज़ भी मिले। और नेशनल एडवाइज बाद में जब मोदी जी आए तो पहला नेशनल एडवाइज ये NJC बिल पास भी हुआ, यूनानिमसली पास हुआ। उसमें जस्टिस, उसके बाद में सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने उसको ओवर रूल किया, विच इज़ अ रॉन्ग थिंग टू डू। हमने सुप्रीम कोर्ट से ये अपील की थी कि आप इसमें मॉडिफाई कर दीजिए, अगर आपको कॉलेजियम
सिस्टम में चाहिए, हाँ,
सही भी लगता है, तो आप जो इसमें जो सिस्टम है उसमें अगर मेंबर्स इधर उधर हो जाए तो ठीक है, लेकिन जुडिशियल अपॉइंटमेंट, जुडिशियल अकाउंटेबिलिटी के लिए जो है ना, जुडिशरी से आउटसाइड एजेंसी होनी चाहिए। सेम अगर एजेंसी करती है तो फेयर नहीं हो पाएगा। तो इसलिए NJAC बिल को जिस तरह से जुडिशरी ने ये सोचा कि हमारे पावर खींच लिया है, उस तरह का नहीं था वो, ये रॉन्ग। उस समय जुडिशरी, उस समय पॉलिटिकल क्रेडिबिलिटी बहुत डाउन थी, क्योंकि उसी समय करप्शन के केसेस निकले थे, 2G स्कैम। तो इसलिए पब्लिक को जुडिशरी के ऊपर ज़्यादा भरोसा था, ना कि इलेक्टेड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव। जबकि हमको विश्वास अपने इलेक्टेड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव पे जहाँ होना चाहिए, क्योंकि हर 5 साल में वो हमारे से वोट मांगने आता है। जुडिशरी तो कभी हमसे कुछ मांगने नहीं आती, उनकी मर्जी है, वो करेंगे। तो इसलिए ये बहुत गलत हुआ, लेकिन हुआ। फिर लैंड रिफॉर्म्स पे हमने काम किया था, तो लैंड एक्विजिशन वो भी आया। फिर फार्म लॉज पे काम किया था, फार्म लॉ भी आए। फार्म लॉ तो इससे दुर्भाग्य है इस देश का कि लैंड रिफॉर्म्स और फार्म सेक्टर रिफॉर्म्स नहीं हो पाए। नहीं तो आज एग्रीकल्चर की जो ग्रोथ है 3.5% है, जबकि इंडिया की ओवरऑल ग्रोथ इज हैपनिंग अराउंड 7%। तो एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर इज ड्रैगिंग इंडिया बैक।
And when we say ourselves to be an agrarian
economy and all that. So I think this is the journey so far. And और भी कई वो हैं जिसमें कि फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर पे काम हुआ, लोकल एम्पावरमेंट ऑफ लोकल गवर्नमेंट पे काम हुआ, कहीं सक्सेस हुई, कहीं नहीं हुई, कहीं डिले हो रहा है, लेकिन फिर भी ये संस्था जिसमें हम जुड़े हुए हैं अभी, लोकसत्ता मूवमेंट और फाउंडेशन फॉर डेमोक्रेसी, उसी में लगी हुई है और आज भी कर रही है काम, आज की सरकार के साथ भी काम कर रही है।
आज हम लोग ने अभी आपने बोला लोकल सेल्फ गवर्नेंस सिस्टम्स जहाँ पे इम्प्लीमेंट होने थे, सो इसका जो बेसिक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनलिटी आती है वो तो 73rd 74th कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट से आती है, जो कि 92-93 पास हुए थे। क्योंकि मैं भी इस सेक्टर में काम कर चुकी हूँ, तो इट गेट्स डिप्रेसिंग आफ्टर पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम कि आप मेहनत कर रहे हैं, आप हर चीज़ कर रहे हैं और उसके बाद आपको रिजल्ट देखने में इतना टाइम लग रहा है। जैसे आपने आपने क्रिमिनलाइजेशन ऑफ पॉलिटिक्स के बारे में बात की, उसको भी देखने में काफ़ी टाइम लगा था। RTI वगैरह भी शुरू हुआ था, उसके बाद उसको इम्प्लीमेंट होने में बहुत टाइम लगा। आज की डेट में हम लोग 2011-2012 से हम लोग ने सेक्सुअल हैरेसमेंट लॉज के बारे में बात करनी शुरू की। अनफॉर्चुनेटली एक इवेंट हुआ जिसके बाद जल्द से जल्द चीज़ें इम्प्लीमेंट हुई, बट आज की डेट में भी ग्राउंड लेवल इम्प्लीमेंटेशन उसका नहीं हो पा रहा है। 2010 में हम लोग ने PIL फाइल किया था रिगार्डिंग लोकल सेल्फ गवर्नेंस सिस्टम्स ओनली, और वहाँ से हम लोगों को ये मिल रहा है,
अभी तक पिटीशन
हियरिंग में नहीं आ रहा है। वहाँ से गवर्नमेंट से रिस्पांस मिल रहा है कि अब ये आउटडेटेड हो गया है। तो सोचिए, जो 92 में एक चीज़ पास हुई थी जो कि जिसको लीगल वैलिडिटी मिली थी, उसको 15-20 साल तो हम लोगों को एक्सेप्ट करने में लग गए कि भाई ये चीज़ है, इसको इम्प्लीमेंट करना चाहिए, और उसके बाद हम उसको कर नहीं पा रहे। तो वो जो पीरियड है जिसमें नहीं हो रहा है, उसमें एक पेसिमिज्म तो आता है। उस पेसिमिज्म को ओवरकम कैसे करते हैं?
ऐसा है कि अगर इनिशियल अंडरस्टैंडिंग दो चीज़ की हो, जो कि मैंने तो अंडरस्टैंडिंग की थी, मेरा संघ का बैकग्राउंड है, RSS का बैकग्राउंड है, तो वहाँ पे अंडरस्टैंडिंग ये सिखाई जाती है, और वहाँ का जो कल्चर है काम करने का, उसमें पता चलता है कि आपको ये दो अंडरस्टैंडिंग लेके समाज में करना पड़ेगा काम। एक ये है कि नेशन बिल्डिंग इज़ नॉट ए वन जनरेशन जॉब, कई जनरेशन लग जाएंगी, फिर भी अगली जनरेशन को आके फिर से करना पड़ेगा। तो एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग ये होनी चाहिए। दूसरा करना चाहिए कि रिकग्निशन, जब रिकग्निशन के पीछे आप भागेंगे तो एक तरह से पेसिमिज्म आएगा, क्योंकि आप सक्सेस को देख रहे हैं, प्रोग्रेस को नहीं देख रहे। सक्सेस माइलस्टोन बन जाती है, प्रोग्रेस माइलस्टोन नहीं बनती है। जबकि अकम्पलिशमेंट की तरफ फोकस अगर आप करेंगे तो आपको प्रोग्रेस फोकस बन जाता है आपको, कि भाई पहले हम कहाँ थे और आज कहाँ हैं हम, तो आपको हमेशा ऑप्टिमिज्म ही दिखेगा। तो ये दो क्वालिटी होना जरूरी है। वो संघ के स्वयंसेवकों में ज़्यादातर में आपको वो क्वालिटीज़ मिलेंगी, और मेरे पिताजी ने भी मुझे यही बताया, सिखाया था, और मेरी माताजी खासकर, उनका इन्फ्लुएंस हमारी ज़िंदगी में बहुत रहा है कि भाई आप कर्म अपना करो, फल की इच्छा मत करो। ये कहना आसान है, करना मुश्किल है, लेकिन आई थिंक बचपन से अगर इसकी आदत डाली जाए तो ये करना भी मुश्किल नहीं है। प्लस एक रीज़न, कुछ रीज़न इस दौरान एक ये भी बात हुई है कि कभी भी स्टेबल गवर्नमेंट नहीं रही है। ये मिली जुली सरकारें जब आती हैं, वहाँ पे इस तरह के बोल्ड डिसीजंस नहीं लिए जा सकते। जहाँ पे स्टेबिलिटी आती है वहाँ पे बोल्ड डिसीजन लिए जा सकते हैं। तो इंडिया हैज़ सफर्ड अबाउट 30-35 ईयर्स, और उसी दौरान अगर देखें तो अब तो चाइना बहुत आगे बढ़ गया है। आई एम नॉट एडवोकेटिंग चाइनीज फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट, बट इफ कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ स्टेबिलिटी brings lot of meaning to what I'm saying.
So is it better to have जिस तरीके से आपने बोला, ये जो मिली जुली सरकार आती है उसमें प्रॉब्लम होती है, अकॉर्डिंग टू यू इज इट बेटर टू हैव अ मेजॉरिटी गवर्नमेंट?
मिली जुली सरकार अगर आइडियोलॉजिकल बेस्ड मिली जुली सरकार है तो कोई प्रॉब्लम दिखती नहीं है मुझे, लेकिन जब कॉन्ट्राडिक्शन के साथ में सरकार बनती है तो वहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम आएगी। और हमारे यहाँ ज़्यादातर कॉन्ट्राडिक्शन के साथ सरकार बनी है। मिली जुली सरकार तो वाजपेयी जी की हुई थी, लेकिन वहाँ पे काम हुए, वाजपेयी जी के समय में काम हुए, और ऐसे काम हुए हैं जिसका फल अब देखने को मिल रहा है। वहाँ पे जो डीपर रिफॉर्म्स हुए थे, वो रिफॉर्म का फल आज देखने को मिल रहा है। तो मिली जुली सरकार अगर आइडियोलॉजी बेस्ड हो और एक लीडरशिप ऐसी क्वालिटी की हो जो कि सबको समझा सके कि नेशनल इंटरेस्ट इज मच बिगर, एंड नेशनल इंटरेस्ट में क्या आता है, विदाउट कॉम्प्रोमाइजिंग देयर ओन इंटरेस्ट एंड मैनेजिंग देयर ओन इंटरेस्ट, देन आई थिंक इट्स पॉसिबल. बट किसी तरह भी मिल जाओ, मैं उत्तर देख रहा हूँ, मैं वो दक्षिण देख रहा है, फिर भी हम मिलके, क्योंकि पावर हम शेयर करना चाहते हैं, तो फिर नहीं चलेगा. तो आई थिंक 30 ईयर्स में हमने ज़्यादातर सरकारें वैसी देखी है. एक सरकार ऐसी देखी जिसमें आइडियोलॉजिकल कॉम्पिटेंस थी, दूसरी सरकार भी एक तरह से अच्छी ठीक थी, लेकिन वहाँ जाके क्या हुआ, मनमोहन सिंह जी की जो पहली सरकार थी वो उसमें थोड़ा सा काम हुआ, जैसे न्यूक्लियर डील, बहुत बड़ी बात है, लेकिन न्यूक्लियर डील आते ही क्या हुआ, सरकार अल्पमत में आ गई, कम्युनिस्ट छोड़ के भाग गए.
करेक्ट.
सो लेकिन किसी ने, मनमोहन सिंह जी ने बोल्ड डिसीजन लिया, इसलिए कम से कम न्यूक्लियर डील हो गई. और न्यूक्लियर डील का बहुत बड़ा फ्यूचरिस्टिक फायदा है. आज फायदा नहीं दिखे, लेकिन आगे चल के हम, वी आर ए डिफरेंट कंट्री ऑल टुगेदर नाउ.
So do you think it is high time that we shelve the first past the post system जो अभी electoral politics में हम लोग use कर रहे हैं? Is it better कि हम लोग preference based electoral system?
See, current system is not functioning well, that is proven. Because आज भी अगर मोदी जी इतने पॉपुलर होने के बावजूद भी वोट बैंक पॉलिटिक्स, कास्ट बैंक बेस्ड पॉलिटिक्स, मनी पावर, मसल पावर, डायनेस्टिक पॉलिटिक्स फिर भी सर्वाइव कर रही है. इसका मतलब देयर इज ए प्रॉब्लम इन द फर्स्ट पास्ट पोस्ट सिस्टम एंड द पार्लियामेंट्री सिस्टम टुगेदर. वी नीड टू फाइंड सोल्यूशन विदाउट हैविंग, नाउ इट कैन बी ए, आई डोंट वांट टू गिव ए सोल्यूशन राइट नाउ, बट need for solution I can give. There is a definitely need for because there is a serious problem. When the first past post system and the parliamentary system comes together, the government is formed out of the first past post system. The election system is
exactly.
Then there is bound to be vote bank politics. There is minority politics. There is going to be a money power, muscle power, because you need to have only 33-35% votes. You don't care what 70%.
Not even
thinks.
35%, I think.
In some cases lower.
The
even
threshold
lower.
is lower.
Even lower. So then the caste politics will play a role. Then the money power will play. You can buy a few percentage votes and you can be king. Particularly in a given society where the divisions are so deeply entrenched for centuries, I think we need to have a debate on this, whether first past post system and parliamentary coupled together is a right system for us or not. Because in the British system, we have followed that system. The divisions are not that high, that big. They are same race, same caste, exactly. Same religion kind of thing, you know. Same level of economic.
जो developed countries.
Developed countries में. हमारी country में whether that system is suitable or not at today has to be seen. And system is never permanent, you know. We can keep changing the system depending on what is the need of the hour. There is no sacrosanct that once we have adopted that we are stuck with that system. No. We need to rethink about it. What are the innovative ways to clean up our democracy? Alternative to democracy is not there. That is acceptable, because democracy is as Dr. Jay Prakash Narayan says, democracy is the least perverted form of governance.
Right.
Rest are more perverted. So, but within the democracy, what suits to which society is important.
Is important and requires debate on it. Okay. दोनों चीज़ें, आपके दोनों सेक्टर्स को थोड़ा मर्ज करते हैं. आई वॉन्टेड टू नो 2014 में शिपमेंट जो इंडस्ट्री है इंडिया की, वो 44th रैंक कर रही थी, जो कि आज की डेट में 22nd रैंक पे आई है. सो 2014 से लेके अभी तक का इस तरीके का चेंज, ये मतलब आपको क्या लगता है, क्या फैक्टर्स ने कंट्रीब्यूट किया है इसकी तरफ?
There are multiple factors, you know, not single factors. See, our exports have grown. Yesterday I was looking at the figures. The defense export itself has gone to 1 lakh crores. So let me give you a little figure of today. It's almost more than 100% jump in the last 10 years. Imports have gone up by $892 billion, up to $892 billion. Exports have gone $776 billion. It's a huge jump. Naturally, that it requires shipping. The shipping industry
the
will
logistic
will benefit. So I think that is major reason for that, and the way in which the ease of doing business is going around, it is all impacting in logistics, because shipping is a part of the logistic. So logistic is really a big sector which has gained in the last 10 years.
Right. और ये जो अभी अमृत ये मैरीटाइम अमृत काल विजन 2047 आया है, ये बता रहा है कि बहुत सारा सब्सटैंशियल इन्वेस्टमेंट अराउंड 80,000 लाख करोड़ का इन्वेस्टमेंट जाएगा वर्ल्ड क्लास पोर्ट्स डेवलप करने के लिए इंडिया में. तो इस विजन को लेके और इस इन्वेस्टमेंट को आप क्या चेंजेस देख रहे हैं, और क्या चैलेंजेस इंडस्ट्री फेस कर सकती है?
Challenge is only one. There are no other challenges except geopolitics. So if somewhere war takes place and some big India gets engaged into war and all that, I think this is a huge challenge. Somehow India needs at least 10 years peaceful time to reach a level where we can abolish poverty and reach some per capita income of a decent level. So that is the challenge, according to me, is only geopolitics. As far as the future of this industry is concerned, or future is concerned, let us divide this sector into 4-5 parts. One is the international sector. Another is the coastal sector. Third is the inland water sector. So these are the three major sectors one can look at it. India is investing heavily into each one of them. Bharat Mala, Sagar Mala, and India has one of the largest lengthy coastline. It is 7,516 kilometers.
Yeah.
And India is not exploited at all. So we need a lot of ports, we need a lot of infrastructure to be created, we need a lot of freight stations, and logistically, water transport is the cheapest and most eco-friendly way of logistics. So this government has focused on exploiting the area in a big way, both from trade perspective plus security. Because as the country grows both ways, it grows in terms of economic prosperity, and it grows in terms of spiritual upliftment. There will be a huge security threat from outside and internally. So we need to protect ourselves from both, and therefore investment, therefore port and all that. All these are the part of security apparatus also.
Okay, so industry-wise also and security-wise also.
Growth of a nation and security goes hand in hand. If we look at it, our history, India was 25% of GDP in 8th, 9th century, 10th century. That's how people came and raided us. But we were sleeping giant, We did not pay much attention. We did not invest in security. So we got looted. And by the time 1947 came, we became one of the poorest country in the world. So history is teaching us this.
And what do you think is the importance of capitalism in an emerging economy like India?
More than capitalism, look at what are the criteria of well-functioning, or why a society is well-functioned. One is a choice. Second is competition. If these two things are not there, society becomes unproductive. So capitalism to large extent brings choice and competition. No other ideology brings choice and competition together, but capitalism brings. The risk of capitalism is that we need to protect ourselves against the crony capitalism. That's why we need to focus on more regulators and all that kind of things. Rather than getting involved in doing business, we should be regulating more in a transparent way and all that. So without capitalism, no society can prosper. Take an example of China. China is namesake for communist country, but as far as the economy and economic ideology is concerned, it's fully capitalism. It's a one-party rule, that's all.
Right now, हम लोग पिछली बार भी बैठे थे तो we were talking about the Ayushman Bharat card जो अभी लेटेस्ट चीज़ें आ रही हैं फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑफ रिफॉर्म्स इटसेल्फ. सो व्हाट आर योर व्यूज ऑन द आयुष्मान भारत कार्ड?
Well, according to us, what we have also submitted our report on the on the healthcare reforms.
Yes.
Lot of inputs from that has been already taken, and we can see that government is moving in that direction.
Moving in that direction, huh?
Health card, according to us, will be a transformational change in this country. Currently, there are two types of cards. One is the which gives the Ayushman benefits. That is for the poor, and the other card, which is also same barcoded, is card where it is right now used for consolidating the medical records of the patients. But ultimately, the kind of digitization happening through these cards, where all the doctors are getting registered, where all the labs are getting registered, where all the hospitals are getting registered, where all the citizens are getting registered and getting the cards and all that. Till today, 54 crores cards have been issued so far. What it means is that going forward, if India decides to provide free medical health care with the family physician identified by each family, India can deliver free primary health care at your doorstep to the entire nation at a most economical cost. It has a multiple dimension effect where the cost of country on the health will come down because of the early diagnosis, curative healthcare, and
preventive
healthcare. Curative healthcare in the first diagnosis itself,
yes.
Because today diagnosing is not taking place smoothly and fast. People are delaying their diagnosis because of the facility not available or their own economic conditions. Therefore, the cost of health is going up and up. So I think this is a game changer. This is going to be a game changer. This card is going to be a game changer, and my appeal to everybody is that download this card. It takes only 2 minutes. Go to National Health Authority website. You can download your card. It is linked to your Aadhaar card. You need to have only your cell phone because OTP will come there. You can register yourself, download it. It will be very, very useful and helpful
in the coming future. Right now, do you see any benefit of it?
Right now, because the data is getting collated and all that. Right now, the effort is made. See, Ayushman Bharat beneficiaries are there, but other people like you and me who don't need that kind of support will see their medical record at a common place. I need not carry my medical records at home. If I fall sick in USA, I can see, my doctors can see my medical record, past record there. When I am in Mumbai, I can see there. I am in Calcutta, I can see there.
So it will create a database.
It will help also to do research. How many are cancer patients and what type of cancer patient? The research for that cancer patient will become more easier and more. So it will be very targeted effort on developing the medicines for that kind of thing. Right now, it is on estimated basis. So I think if this program continues like this and all that, hope is that by 2029, 2030, government should be able to roll out a program where we're taking care of everything, Ayushman Bharat, CGHS scheme and all that should be able to collect, control and launch a combined program of providing primary health care free for at least 5 to 10 or 15% population from the lowest data. So you just go with a card, use the POS machine and register your doctor, go to chemist, show on the POS machine, they know on the system what medicine has been prescribed for you, they will give you free of cost. The OTP comes to you, you give the OTP, they will close it, money will come from the government to their account and I go home happily with the medicine.
Of course, this will take some time for implementation.
It will take time. The infrastructure is getting created and the government has to have a willpower to deliver at some point of time this, and the cost is not horrendous. Cost is very good, and overall country's cost on the health will reduce substantially. The pressure on the tertiary care and secondary care will almost reduce to say 50%, 60%. You don't need to go there because the early diagnosis, your first of all preventive. A lot of investment is happening on the preventive, whether air pollution, whether water, total environment, infrastructure, stress related issues and all that. So preventive, then curative at the first level itself. So most of the patients will be cured there itself.
Right, so you won't need those expensive
So allopathy
treatments.
will be required to be only for the emergency cases where the life-threatening diseases are there.
Okay, that's awesome to know. And we would request everybody to probably download the Ayushman Bharat card. Also, I would want to know, as per your views, what do you think is the relevance of politics in the financial markets? हम लोग देखते हैं बजट के दिन मार्केट्स बहुत फ्लक्चुएट कर जाते हैं, हम लोग देखते हैं इलेक्शंस से बहुत वॉलेटिलिटी रहती है.
Let get everybody clear in their head that politics is the way of life. You cannot avoid politics. Politics is bad, does not solve your problem. How to make politics good should be your effort. So without politics, nothing works. Whether it is a financial market, whether it is industry, whether it is economics, nothing. Politics is the only difference is politics is an art of harmonizing the conflict of interest, and politics is a noble endeavor to serve people. That's my answer. Without politics, nothing works.
But what relevance? ये तो हो गया, मतलब ये broader perspective पे हो गया. But अगर हम लोग माइक्रो इस पे देखें तो पॉलिटिक्स का फाइनेंस के ऊपर किस तरीके का इम्पैक्ट
Every policy in the finance impacts on is controlled by politics. Tomorrow Reserve Bank comes with some notification, the market will tumble here and there. So it's directly political connected. So any government action which is a political action, in fact, it has an impact on the market. Today, growth is happening not automatically. Some politics is driving the growth because politics is doing certain action, and politics means government, but it's coming out of the politics. They are doing some certain actions. They are doing certain policies, which is impacting the market, and therefore market is booming right now. Tomorrow something goes wrong, and something will.
So basically जितने भी political decisions वगैरह लिए जा रहे हैं, they will have a clear cut impact on the markets.
On the market and your life.
And how do you perceive politics having an impact on the financial market and 10 years down the line? Like,
well,
what is your perception about it?
Looking at the effort made in the last, say, 25 years, more than 25 years, since 1990, when the reforms process started, and it never took back. It slowed down, but it again accelerated, and in the last 10 years, it got accelerated more. I will give you some figures. I noted down some figures. So let me give you some figures. Capital expenditure of the government alone is all-time high at 13 lakh crores this fiscal year, which is 4.5% of GDP. It's never happened. Yes, there is a challenge that the private sector investment is not happening as yet. But there is always a time lag. We need to watch very carefully. Government has to do a lot of other reforms, a lot of cumbersome compliances and all that. Ease of doing business is still not reached the level where it should be.
It should be.
Once when the private capital investment starts flowing, which is inevitable in the next few years.
Which has already started.
But it's not picking up as fast as. Government has invested 13 lakh, is investing 13 lakh crores in the capital expenditure alone. It means matching figure has to come from the private sector or more maybe.
Right.
That's not happening as yet. So therefore, the future looks very bright. There are the hurdles, but the future looks bright. Look at the subsidies. Subsidies have been cleaned up. The wastage has been cleaned up. The subsidies are all-time low at the moment in terms of percentage of GDP. Not because subsidies are not given or reduced, just because cleanup has taken place. The wastage has got reduced or removed. I'll say not removed but reduced. Therefore, the extra money is available for other expenditure. So I think that is very important to see. So what we are looking at, as far as the economic growth is concerned, is given that India is a shining story for the next 25 years. I don't think any big political change also can bring it down now, because we have reached a threshold level now. Society has become aspirational. Therefore, no politicians can just run away by giving slogans. It's not.
Right.
It's not very easy. What next 5 years we may need to do is, which will further accelerate and give big boost to economy, is agriculture reforms, the farm sector reforms, land acquisition, notification on the labor laws, because labor laws have been passed, labor code has been passed, but it has not been notified. I think these are the few things. Plus, we are writing some reports now. What are the ways to reduce compliances without compromising the transparency and accountability? What are the ways to make ease of doing business much more palatable, much more much more going forward? I think this government, I think, is, my sense of understanding of this government now is that next 5 years, next reforms will be used in the financial sector. These are my understanding of the government, that the next 5 years is coming with big financial sector reforms, which will transform the financial sector of this country. No more dependency on the big corporates. There will be huge credit, widespread credit availability, easy credit availability already there, but widespread credit availability, which will encourage small scale, medium scale to become larger and larger and larger. And I think, we hope, because government is seized of this problem, that despite of investment of say 13 lakhs in capital expenditure, jobs are not getting created. So government has to somehow mobilize resources from the private sector, and that will happen only when the financial sector reforms, big ticket financial reform happens.
From this, जो आपने एम्प्लॉयमेंट के बारे में भी अभी कहा, डू यू थिंक कि आज की डेट में, ऑफ कोर्स एजुकेशनल रिफॉर्म्स वगैरह आ रहे हैं, बट डू यू थिंक आजकल की डेट में आजकल कुछ बेसिक स्किल्स जो काम करने के लिए चाहिए वो लैकिंग है, और अगर लैकिंग है तो वो कैसी स्किल्स हैं, जो मैंने थोड़ा बहुत हम लोगों की कॉन्वर्सेशन से डिराइव किया और जो मेरा अभी तक एक्सपीरियंस रहा है? मुझे ये लगता है, एक जो आपने कहा पहले शुरुआत में कि लीडरशिप बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी होती है, लीडरशिप क्वालिटी एक आनी चाहिए, लीडरशिप क्वालिटी से प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग विल चाहिए और उसकी एबिलिटी चाहिए, उसके साथ में टीम बिल्डिंग वगैरह एक्सरसाइजेस पे, नॉट जस्ट एक्सरसाइजेस बट बेसिकली कनेक्टिंग विद पीपल सो दैट यू कैन मूव थिंग्स फास्टर, ये सारी चीज़ें चाहिए। इसके साथ आपको क्या लगता है कि और क्या ट्रेट्स होने चाहिए आज की जनरेशन में कि we are able to perform well in the industries, any industry?
My personal experience has been that we lack common sense. The biggest skill in this country which people lack is a common sense. That is the biggest skill we lack. The moment common sense is there, the rest of the skills can be easily acquired, or if not acquired, can be managed. So that's the one thing. Now, common sense is a question of entire environmental issue. Family, education, society, work environment, the area of where the human being operates. So I think huge reforms are required in every sector, including family building. So I think that's one thing. Secondly, I think there is a big mismatch in the technical skills and the requirement of the economy. Economy requires skill A. We may find thousands of people with skill B. So there is no compatibility. The matching is required. So some data management is better required before we start giving skills. As far as the leadership and team building is concerned, that's a specialized skill, which I think to some extent has to be either family oriented, education oriented, and workplace oriented. So take an example of Agniveer Scheme. It's a fantastic scheme because it will teach certain skills which are not easily available to outsiders. When this kind of people will start coming in the market in a large, big way, you will have two advantages. One, you will start getting some skilled, common sense people, skilled people. And as I was always concerned about, when the economic growth takes place, security becomes an issue.
Right.
You will have reserve forces, which can, if required, time demands, you will have sufficient number of reserve forces available to us to defend ourselves. So I think by giving skills in colleges, schools, at every level, I think we need to
develop
skills and skill set and skill development program has to be, because we can become a labor supplier, or I will not say labor supplier, we can capture the world just by skills and going to different places in the world and live there happily and convert those places into India. When I say into India, does not mean India nation, Indian culture.
Understood. ये हम लोग ने बहुत सारे टॉपिक्स कवर किए, और सारे टॉपिक्स इन डेप्थ कवर करने के लिए हम लोग को बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम चाहिए, विच होपफुली हम लोग थोड़ा और over coming months या years we'll talk more about each of these together. I wanted to know, ये जो हम लोग ने स्टार्ट किया है क्लब टू लर्न, दिस इज़ बेसिकली एन इनिशिएटिव कि इंडस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक चीज़ें या क्या चीज़ें हो रही हैं उसकी एक इन डेप्थ नॉलेज या हमारे पर्सपेक्टिव्स हम लोग लोगों के सामने रख सकें. What do you have to say about this initiative per se?
Well, this is one of the initiatives where skills are going to be developed. So this is a part of the skill development program kind of thing, because people must get engaged into these kind of platforms to learn things, understand things. The broader your horizon, the broader capability of your ability. So I think this is an excellent initiative. Many more are required. Wide scale are required, and I think it has to be depending on your resources, depending on that. This should become a mass program actually, and this should generate lot of this would help a lot of millions of people if they come in touch with this kind of platforms. They listen and hear, and they try to learn few things from here.
चलिए, थैंक यू सो मच. आई एम डेफिनेटली होपिंग कि हम लोग नेक्स्ट टाइम आपकी इन्वेस्टमेंट जर्नी भी हम लोग मैप करें, बिकॉज वी हैव अ सेगमेंट. I don't know whether it is completely applicable for you, but we have a segment called Learn from Losers. और उसमें हम लोग ये कर रहे हैं कि हमारा सबसे बड़ा जो टीचर होता है वो हमारा फेलियर होता है. फेलियर जितना सिखाता है उतना और कुछ चीज़ नहीं सिखाता है. दैट्स वाई वी हैव नेम्ड इट लर्न फ्रॉम लूजर्स, एंड देयर वी मैप इन्वेस्टमेंट जर्नीज ऑफ पीपल. सो आई एम होपिंग टू डू दैट सेशन इज वेल विथ यू.
Thank you so much, Ankita.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you so much.
Thank you.